Okay, raise your hand if you think you have a .sh script with the correct SAM tools command in it. Jake, what's your number?
07.
Did you cheat and look at the file?
Yes.
Cheater! All right, what do you guys think?
This is for the processors. Yeah. Are we using sort? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I know you cheated, because the file says 8. So you guys can put 4 here. All right, so if he puts 4 there, how does he need to change his script? 4 after the end. Okay, so this is the number of threads that we're running, and it needs to match. All right. Dash O, what does the dash O mean? Okay, so where's he outputting it? So if he runs this script, where is it going to be outputted? Current directory. Okay, so you're going to want to add the full path here. What about this? What's this? The file that you're sorting. So where is it going to find this? Is it in your current directory? So you can try to do that. Honestly, when you write a script, it's a good idea to always have the full path. That way you can run it from anywhere. So even if right now you're being very careful and making sure that you're running it from the right spot, you may want to go back and use this again later, and you may have forgotten that you had put it in this very specific spot and that's what you're doing it. So it's a good idea to give it the full path. In addition to the full path, what else is wrong with this file? Great, yeah, so your output is a SAM file, not a BAM file that you're sorting from start. So you need to add the .SAM. No, this is great, thank you. I'm sure everybody else in the class had all of these mistakes as well. Yeah. Because this is your input file.
Oh, so it's exactly that.
It's exactly this file. Yeah, you need to specify what it is that it's going to sort it. So if you say .bam, it's going to say that this file does not exist because your file is .sam.
Are we going to keep it a BAM?
Yeah, so that's why we specify in the .o, -o, we want a sorted BAM file. What do you guys think about his SAMTools index script? Has anybody looked at index yet? Raise your hand if you have looked at index. Okay, so once you guys are done with your sort, take a look at index and we'll come back and look at that again together. Thank you, good job. Yeah.
Let's say
example workflow of that because I think some of you are still doing it on your own. So, alright, so I have this SAM tools script and I want to go find this file that I'm going to be sorting. So I'm in the directory where my script is located, so I can very easily just use VI to go back in and edit that script. But I want to copy the full path of the file that I'm trying to align. So what I can do is just use ls to list it. This way I'm not actually moving into a new directory and going away from my script, which then after I find the file that I want, I would have to go back to my script directory to start editing again. But ls will just simply list the file but not move me anywhere. So I want to grab this input file that we're using that's stored in this directory. So I'm going to list that with tabs. So I'm going to start with /projects, tabbing along the way, PSEOLab, MSTP, and I don't remember what the file is called, so I'm going to double tab. Alright, I want this one, so I'm going to copy it and paste it right there. Now when I ls, it's going to list that entire file, and I know it's there, it's going to find it okay because I used tabs to get it. And now I'm going to copy with Control-C, and I'm going to go back into my script and edit it, which is still in the directory that I'm sitting in. And then I'm going to go into insert mode, and wherever it is that I want to put it, I'm going to paste it right in there. Does that make sense to everybody? Ignore the rest of the stuff on the script. This is a different script.
So should we be able to do the tabs for the project? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You can. Yeah. That will. Yes. We're going to get to an example later on where you can't have that, and I'll make sure to point it out when I explain why. Yeah, so another way that you can do this, if you don't want to go in and out of your script, you can open a new tab and log into TSCC on that tab and move back and forth between them to keep your script open in one tab, but find the files in another. Yep. And so this is where I want to just point out, when we're writing these submitter scripts, so far we've only put one command in the script. But if there are multiple commands that you want to run, you can just enter to a new line and start your next command, and that will run that one as well. So the way that the submitter script works is it works from top to bottom. So first it will run the first command that you have listed there, and then if you want it to run something else after it, so in this case we need to sort the file and we also need to index the file. Rather than writing a script to do the sorting and a script to do the indexing, we're going to put it together because those are both things that are kind of linked. So on the first line, write your SAMTools sort command, press enter. You can enter as many times as you want. The only thing that's important is that it goes on a new line, and then write your SAMTools index command. Does anybody think that they have a SAMTools sort and a SAMTools index that's correct? Keep working.
Do we want to create a BAI?
Yes. You're creating a .bam.bai file for your index. And again, I would recommend putting the output for the sorted and the indexed file in the same directory where your unsorted file is located. That way they're all together.
Sorted file output of BAM file?
Yes. So we're going to do the output of the sort in BAM for compression purposes. A lot of programs will not even accept a SAM file as an input, and we're going to use this file as an input into our other programs. So we're going to store it in a compressed version, which is a BAM file, so it's smaller than a SAM, And we're going to use that BAM extension because that's most commonly used for other programs that we're going to be inputting this alignment file into to get some sort of other question. So in our case, we're going to get gene expression quantification from that. Did you fix all your things? All right, can we look at yours again? All right, what's your number again? 7. All right, what do we think? Here? Yeah. So if you run this, it's not going to find this. So is this your input or your output file?
That's
What? Input. Yeah? Yeah. So if you look at the documentation, you'll notice he doesn't have any flags in front of it. He just has the file name, which is the only thing that you need for the index command. The rest of the defaults will work okay. So samtools index followed by the input file name. Now you do not have the full path here, so this will only work how? If you're running the script in that directory. Great. Anything else you guys see? For the samtools index, you tell me. Yeah, the documentation says by default, it's going to give you an output file that's this exact same name, except it's going to add the .bai extension on there. So I believe there's a flag -o in samtools index that maybe says it's optional, and by default, it's going to put it in the same spot as your input file and just add the name or add the .bai at the end. So for our purposes, that will be good enough. Okay, so -b is to create a BAI index, so you could add that to the beginning here. But what else does it say about the -b command, or the -b flag?
Oh, it's correct.
Default, yeah. So if you don't add the -b, that's what it's going to be doing.
And I'm also, so this is the input file or the output file?
So this is the input file, and I can point that out to you.
Because here it says in the thing, that we need output.
So output index is like
Okay, so no interesting file, that's just, you're gonna get your file. So, yeah, interesting file, so she has, it's just demonstrating these tools here. So, if you go back now, so let's go into that. So, but not in this exact file, we're in this advanced file, that project, yes,
yeah, but
yeah, but you're right, so you're right, in your home directory. Oh, yeah, I do. But I'm really not very good about that. script file from your home directory into a new script file in your scripts directory, and then you're going to change it to the So she, if you go to her HTML file, but the same tools manual that has a link up there is how you kind of unpack it.
So that's
Which, yeah.
Raise your hand if you have submitted your stamp tool script. Just 2, 3, 4. Great. Raise your hand if it's completed. Oh.
Oh, no.
No? Okay. Does anybody still need help making these commands? Is anybody not sure which arguments they should use? The syntax? Any of that? Okay. Great, what's your number? Okay, so let's take a look. While the rest of you guys are working to submit your things, it looks like Greg's has already gotten through the queue. Is it this one here?
That would be the error file, yeah.
All right, let's see if he has any errors. Ooh. No errors. Let's see what the out file looks like. Nothing in the out file. So sometimes output files will be really helpful, and it'll like star and it'll say finished successfully. Yay, great. But sometimes programs don't write things that nicely for you, so you won't actually get that message that says finished successfully. So if both your error file and your out file are empty, then your next step will be to go to check the thing that you were trying to make and see if it got made. So where did you put your output?
Check, just do less, send to index.
And then I just like to double check the size of the file. You'll notice the spam file is smaller than our SAM file. It's now compressed. The index itself is a very small file. Looks like it's completed. Great. So the rest of you guys will be getting these as you finish your sorting and your indexing. Okay. Are there any questions about SAM tools, how we use it to sort and index BAM files? Any questions about the differences between BAMs and SAMs? Yeah. Laura? Oh, sorry, I thought you were trying to turn it up. Okay, so BAM is the binary version. It's compressed. It's not human readable. SAM is the exact same file, but it's stored with more memory. That's why they're a lot bigger, and it's human readable. Jean, some people were asking about the differences between threads and processors and nodes and processors. Can you give any sort of better explanation than I can about those concepts? I just said that whenever you have processors per node, you need to match the number of threads that you're running your script with the number of processors, and that it's best to not split your job across nodes, but to ask for the most number of processors that you can per node and keep your job running on one node. What's the difference between a processor and a thread?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've had some questions about the differences between threads and processors and nodes. Do you have a better explanation? About the differences between processors and nodes and why you, and threads, I guess. So what I've been recommending is that whenever you, script allows you to specify the number of threads, that you match the number of threads to the number of processors that you're requesting from TSCC. Why do you do that, and what's the difference between a thread and a processor? And speak loud because it's kind of hard to hear. Come up here and face that way so they can hear you.
One processor can run
reflex,
prefix, so you can split up a job or an algorithm to like different pieces.
So when you use Google, you search something, right? You know what's happening? So you know what's happening behind Google? Okay, you guys Google all the time. So what's happening is that actually that search is not done by one computer in Google. You find, it's not like one computer is going through, right? It's setting up multiple threads. And meaning that multiple searches are happening at the same time by actually hundreds of thousands of different computers. And basically, the reason why you get it so fast is because the very first one that finds it gives the answer back. Right? So it's like this is an example of like you have multi-thread, it's the same operation but on different hardware or slightly different operation, same question, but run in parallel. So a thread is like different threads have different ways of asking the same question in parallel. Right? And it's Google gives you the answer quickly. The very first thing that computer that finishes gives you the answer, right? But imagine if you sort of only running one computer, it would take years before you get the one answer. But here you always want the fastest answer. Right? So on TSCC, when you're specifying that your algorithm can run on multiple threads, because it's sort of taking a piece of it, running it on one node, another one on another node, another one on another node. It's just a way of piecemealing the problem into little pieces. Does that make sense? That makes more sense.
So is there any disadvantage to telling it to run a lot of threads?
No,
Should you just always do that?
so not all algorithms are written that you can run in multi-thread. Some algorithms are just designed so they can only work on one node or one CPU. They can only work on others are designed that can be run the same job. You can program to many pieces and run on many different computers, and then you put it together, right? And so they're the only so you want you're limited by the number of computers you have. Does that make sense? So on TSC, there's really that many nodes, so you cannot run a billion different threads because you have a billion nodes, right? Google, you could. Does that make sense? So you can always run more. The algorithm is designed to be Yeah, I think it's a good use of efficient use of the resources if you have something that can be multi-threaded and it scales with the number of CPUs that you have. But it could be that you can load on one node, also one node thread, right? Because that processor maybe can run one very quickly and then go to the next one. Yeah, so it's just a matter of how you divide things into little pieces. Maybe that helps.
Yeah, okay. Great, so any more questions with SAM tools sorting and indexing? Great, so even if your jobs are not complete yet, hopefully they will be soon, and then you guys will be able to see the output files, and if you have any error messages, hopefully the exercise that we went through earlier, looking at our star error messages, the same types of error messages are going to pop up if it doesn't recognize a flag, or if it doesn't recognize a file that you gave it, or if maybe you had a character in your script at the wrong spot, you're going to get that EOF error. So if you get anything like that showing up, hopefully you guys should be able to take care of that error message on your own and resubmit your script to fix it. Okay, yeah. Sure.
And they have an out and error file, does it only like put that into your folder after the process is done?
Yes, yes. So I think that some of you guys are getting a little bit confused with these out and error files that we keep talking about that are going into our scripts directory, and with the outputs of the programs that we're running, of the commands that we're running in this directory. So this .out and .err are basically ways that, if you remember when we were running things on the head node and you guys were seeing outputs of stuff right there on your screen, but when we submit it away and send it away remotely to TSCC, you're not seeing those inputs on your screen. Instead, those inputs are going into these out and error files. So it's nice they separate them out for us. The out is just general features of your run, and error is if it ran into any errors along the way. So the information that you would otherwise be seeing right on your head node is just simply put in those files because we're sending it away remotely. The output of your script is the output that you specified. So for star, it was the output of our alignment. It was to this folder that created the SAM file and all of these various log files. For SAM tools, the output of our script is going to be this sorted.sam file or .bam file and sorted.bam.bai index. Is that clear to everybody? Okay. So this is kind of the, let's see. So this is, we're right here in our processing step. We've sorted and indexed our BAM. So next we're going to go on to quantifying gene expression. But to do this, we're interested in quantifying gene expression across our replicates, in both in our control and our knockdown conditions, because that's what we're interested in for differential expression. We can't do differential expression of one data set. So if you guys would like to do this more on your own later as practice, you can go back to the ENCODE website and start from here and carry through the processing for the other biological replicate that they have listed for the Lin28 knockdown. I also want to point out, this is a little bit confusing at first, so I'll just mention it to you. The control data sets are not stored on the same page. So I'm going to search for Lin28B, shRNA. And remember, we were using the one in K562 cells. Okay, so if you're on this page, you can scroll down to, oh, is this one the right answer? This one. Sorry, wrong page. Yeah. So if you scroll down here, you'll see a line for controls. So their shRNA scrambled controls were done in batches to match each experiment. And so you can click this link to find the control non-specific target knockdown for this sample. So if you would like to go back and download the other biological replicate in addition to the controls, you can do that and practice all of the things that we've already done together. And again, scroll down, and the raw data for both biological replicate 1 and 2 are stored here. Okay. So we're not going to do that in class because we've already done it. So instead, I've already provided the sorted BAM and indexed files for all of you, and it's in this directory. So for working process or for convenience for the rest of the stuff that we're going to be doing, I want you guys to make soft links to these BAMs and the index BAMs and put it in your star alignment directory. Or actually, you can make a new directory called all BAMs, and that way you keep the ones together that that you're getting from me and ones that you've made yourself. So what I would recommend doing is going into I have projects and 28. And then I guess, did you guys put your output in Scratch or in projects? In your home? Your home? Okay, so in here I would make a new directory. You can call it all BAMs. You can call it BAMs from Emily. You can call it whatever you want. And then in that directory, go ahead and make soft links to this directory. And the soft links that we're going to need are for the BAM.bam and .bai files for the control replicate 1, control replicate 2, knockdown replicate 1, knockdown replicate 2. So there's going to be 8 files total that you guys need to make soft links for. And this is I'm sorry that I'm going against my convention here, but this is a sorted BAM file, even though it doesn't say it in the name, sorry. And then the index. So make soft links for these 8 files into your directory.
And those files are on Scratch.
The location of the files are right here. It's in this directory.
Yeah, the first is the control rep 1 and 2, BAM, PAI.
Yeah.
I sent you an email if anyone has trouble with the idea.
Oh, did you fix it?
There's an alternative way.
Perfect. Thanks. If you guys don't remember how we did soft links, refer back to the second notebook that we worked through when we made a soft link to Scratch in our home directory in TSCC.
Do you have the soft link separately?
Try it. How would you do multiple at a time?
Like use the
Star. Yeah, go for it. Try it. If you mess them up, you can always remove it with rm-rf and do it again. Permission denied in here. Shouldn't be.
No, it's not for this.
Oh.
I'm trying to, it said that it finished running. So.
Maybe not. Does that file exist? So if you copy from the slash home all the way to the star alignment, just the folder. Yeah, does that exist?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Or you can use your keyboard. No, that's fine. Yeah, you fixed it. Okay, so that's there. I'm going to
I'll do the save the file for the indexing instead of the file. So I got it here.
Okay.
So I ran it, I fixed it, and then I ran it again. But I didn't go like delete or do the file. Maybe you can
Okay, in this directory, copy to the start. This filter, start on it, go into this. So we list the file and do the last version. Oh, section on page, so we'll see the file sizes. So your center file still looks okay. It's supposed to be. This big file is really gone. Okay? It's very small. Okay, so go back to your script. Oh, okay.
other files.
Yes, that's what I'm doing right now. I just asked him to this off.
You'll be able to have like a sense of how your stuff is. So rather than having to copy the whole script, right? You're just gonna remember, it's like, okay, I do projects to this script and bring it up.
Yeah, I actually pressed it.
Okay, yeah, so cool. So I will fix that, just rerun it, but I don't have to delete those other files, I'll just
No, it'll write it over.
Okay, that's okay. Okay.
Yep, so if you wanna like recreate something, but you don't wanna go to your old thing, you version control by like making your next output be one or something like that, but since you know it's bad, and you're not trying to save it, so then
Okay, cool.
Star, you have to do things that are unique. So let me raise that to the class and see if anyone's figured out. So copy is make the copy like that. A software is instead of letting that file without actually copying the entire function. So you don't have to space cursor instead of copy. You're not copying get files, you're not copying the files that are to your phone, but instead you're creating a pointer to where they are, so that when you're done something on that main file, you don't have to give it the full path of this. You're giving it the full path of your file, but it's actually pointing to the no, that's done with LR-S. So that's in the second time. We did this case to scratch. So it's the same source of information we Did anybody figure out how to copy or how to do all of these at once rather than one individually? All right, what did you use?
I did Lin 28B star.
So tell me what your entire command was so I can start typing it on here.
So LN space dash S space backslash project, ES Field Lab, SLE Bootcamp, Lin 28B star.
star. Okay, and then what?
And then my destination, which was in my all bands.
So this is your home, in projects, Lynn 28, all vamps.
Yeah.
Great. Did anybody else do this? Yeah? Cool. So we're taking advantage of this star wildcard character because we noticed that all of the files that we want to copy have this same prefix of lin28b. And lucky me, I made a typo and didn't put the b in when I did all of this stuff, so those files will not get copied. So we have this unique lin28b prefix to all 8 of the files that we want to use, and we're using the syntax to make a soft link with ln-s, source file name, destination name. So our source name is here in this folder, and our destination is this folder that we just made called all BAMs. Yeah? Okay, so let's look at that. So when you make this, okay, did this work? Is this what your output looked like?
Yeah.
What did your output look like? Well, I guess it could be flashing. But the point is that this is not a file. So if I had made this soft link properly, I would have a linked file shown here, and it would be pointing to an actual file. But this is pointing to something. Is this what is your output? Yeah, your output is correct. How is your feedback? So if you think that it worked and you want to check it, I'm not sure about the red thing, try a samtools view on one of the BAM files and type your output into less so that it doesn't blow up your screen, and see if you can view it from your soft link. So you're not going to samtools view this full path, you're going to samtools view the soft link name that you made. Can you guys view those files? No. Okay, so let's just try doing it one at a time. So maybe the star wildcard is not going to work for us.
I did it one at a time.
I did it one at a time. All right. Well, this is a good time anyway. You guys can take a 10-minute break. We're halfway through, and we'll figure this out. Whoa, that's empty. Somebody deleted the file. I knew I shouldn't have given permissions to the